Are there tactics you could tell men that aren't sociopathic but can work to help them get women?
The way to attract a good girlfriend is actually become a better man and build the traits that are legit attractive. If you just allocate a little bit of time and energy, you can actually get dramatic improvements in many of these traits. Like, it's not actually that hard to get in better physical shape. Whatever your body type, whatever your height, like, you can build muscle, you can lose fat, you can get more energy. Or if you want to improve your mental health, be less depressed and anxious and introverted and scared. Like, there's reliably effective ways to do that also. Get enough sleep, eat right so your blood sugar is not going up and down all the time. Meditate, be mindful. There's a bunch of other traits that matter to women, sense of humor. You can work on that, you know. A lot of young men will devote 10 times as much effort to studying for one particular class in college as they'll devote to building their active sense of humor, like taking an improv comedy class or whatever.
That works. Some people are naturally so funny and some people aren't, but there are ways to fix that.
We have these big brains in order to be able to learn useful skills. And I think just a lot of young men are like misallocating their learning time, like getting really good at Call of Duty or Elden Ring or some video game. And they could like take the hundreds of hours that they're doing that and allocate it to stuff that women actually care about and improve it dramatically. It's just that like the existing educational system isn't really geared up to encourage young men or young women to do that kind of thing.
You named a few, but what kind of traits are women attracted to?
We talk a lot about confidence. Unless you're a psychopath, confidence is actually pretty hard to fake. If a young man is getting reliable cues that they are respected and valued by other people, by other men, by other women, by their mentors, by their classmates, confidence naturally comes from that. If you're not getting those cues, it's really hard to sort of fake that kind of confidence. Find groups where you are valued and you do get along with people and you've got your little posse, your little friendship circle, and try to get your confidence from there to start. Also, as you build up more sexual experience and you date more and you just interact more with women and get more comfortable with women, that also builds kind of sexual and romantic confidence, which again is very hard to fake. A lot of young men have this experience, right, that no women pay attention to them for a long time until they get a girlfriend. Suddenly they're getting sexual validation, romantic validation, and suddenly other women are paying attention to them. And they don't even know what changed. In biology, that's called mate choice copying, when females are more attracted to a male that's valued by other females. If a man has a girlfriend already, he knows, at least there's one woman out there who values me, and he kind of internalizes that validation and then like radiates it outwards somehow in body language or how he carries himself. And then other women pay attention to that. There's so many anecdotal reports from guys talking about this. There's long dry spells. Nobody wants me. And then when it rains, it pours. Get a girlfriend and suddenly everybody else wants me. Women's time is much more limited in terms of fertility. So the men can kind of drift along. If a guy's like, yeah, I had this girlfriend, we got together, I was 25 and we broke up when I was 32, no big deal. I'm still going to be fertile for another 30, 40 years. But for the woman, he's burned through like 7 years of her precious fertility window. And so women ain't got time for that. They're going to probably break it off earlier if they think he's not the best pair bond mate.
What traits are women attracted to?
The classic male body type, we talk about broad shoulders, there's a relatively narrow waist. That indicates like you probably got some muscle and you're not too plump and you're capable of doing stuff. You're capable of running and hunting and fighting and taking care of kids and doing all that stuff. And then in terms of psychological traits, intelligence is important. All those big 5 personality traits are important. Sense of humor, which is both an indicator of intelligence, particularly verbal intelligence, but also it's an indicator of social intelligence. Can you understand other people's minds enough to kind of tickle their brains with a funny story? And also a good sense of humor is a good indicator of mental health, because people who have depression or schizophrenia or severe autism tend not to be very funny in terms of like, if they're trying to make a joke, it typically doesn't work or they don't even bother making jokes. So if someone is reliably funny, particularly in one-on-one interactions, not just doing stand-up comedy, then they're probably relatively mentally healthy in terms of like not having the major mental disorders that are big red flags.